This is a Global Original Podcast. Well, if you think this is a topsy-turvy period we're going through now, just cast your mind back to January 2020, from when these clips come. We were a week away from our glorious exit from the evil European socialist experiment. Word was coming from China of a mysterious illness, and I was bravely recovering from a dodgy oyster. Archway. Hello, Louise.
Hello, Nick.
Louise.
I enjoy your show quite a lot. And
But?
I thought I would give you... No, there isn't a but, really. I thought I'd give you a call because I felt sorry for you that you're feeling ill.
Yeah.
Got to say, food poisoning, it does actually feel like death.
It does.
You do actually feel so bad. And it's sort of like, until you've experienced it for yourself, you can't quite have the right level of sympathy. And then you've experienced it once and you just hope you're never going to experience it again.
Exactly, yeah. I'm not too into throwing up. It's not one of my favourite pastimes. But I felt such tremendous relief. I had one of those...
yeah, that's what it is. You literally feel like a different person after you've actually, projectile vomited or whatever, it is.
That's a lovely way of putting it.
Yeah, putting that aside, I just wanted to say that I really, I find, Friday and Saturday night, it just lifts my spirits because, there's quite a lot of, let's just say...
Depressing news about.
I was also quite shocked to hear in your latest news bulletin about the fact that the Americans are, Trump's just taking health that little bit more seriously and, improving school meals for children. I mean, it's pretty... Pasta as a vegetable, I mean, that's quite... that's a new one.
What an absolutely appalling person he is. And he is the person that we are going to be crawling across the carpet with the begging bowl out, looking for a huge and tremendous deal. What could possibly go wrong? The reason that he's doing that is he's condemning an entire generation of children to being overweight with heart disease and all of the rest of it. Because he doesn't care about anybody but Donald Trump. That's absolutely true. Verifiably correct, that is. He's doing it because Barack Obama's wife, anything that's got to do with Barack Obama, he wants to undo because it's a terrible deal. It's the worst deal ever. It's terrible for our country. They're raping our country. That was one of the phrases he came out with the other day. What a despicable person.
I will be so great to women. I cherish women.
Yeah, sure you do. And he's replacing healthy meals in school with unhealthy meals in school because, there is no health problems in America. It's not like they're the fattest country in the world, with the possible exception of Tuvalu, wherever that is.
No, I haven't ever heard of it, to be honest. No. Yeah, well, there's that. And then I have another question for you. I just wondered if you share this pet peeve. Do you find it annoying when people who are driving down the street decide to rev their engines extremely loudly, either by removing the silencer, particularly motorbikes? I find it tends to be motorbikes, but that is just one thing that just makes my skin crawl.
Yeah,
You're
morons.
just walking on the street, minding your own business, and then someone decides to sort of drive past you. You're just sort of like, you've obviously got a serious inferiority complex.
Yes.
Or, something else going on to feel the need to do that.
Well, they would buy one of those oversized mufflers to make it sound as though their 1.2 litre engine is actually a 5 litre engine. But it isn't. You're crawling along the high street, making a noise like the earth being rent asunder. Everybody can see you're in a cheap piece of tat.
I know, we're already choking on the car fumes.
Yeah.
We don't need the noise pollution added to that.
Correct. Yeah. And this goes doubly for anybody on a motorbike. I mean, those engines are tiny, tiny, tiny compared to a car. They're minute. Why do they make so much noise?
I don't know. Somebody just wanted to irritate people. Probably was having a bad day when they created it.
There's people driving around saying, look at me, look at me.
Yep, exactly what it is.
And
Attention-seeking.
And the other people who put every conceivable extra on their car. They want stripes and they want wings and they want sun visors and they want extra fog lights at the front. People go around with their fog lights on because they think it looks cool. Like I said before, Louise, morons.
Yep, agree with you, Nick.
All right.
Agree with you.
Okay, thanks a lot, Louise.
No worries.
Cheers, my dear. 0345 6060 973. Yeah, that drives me up the wall. People who trick out their tiny little car with an engine like a sewing machine, and they put M badges on the front of a BMW. They bought the badge, but not the actual M part. There ain't no sports car if you put the word M, if you put the letter M on the back. James says, Have you seen the reports that there's been an upsurge in the demand for Union Jack socks as the big day approaches? Really? Union Jack socks. Made in China. I bet you can't get a pair of Union Jack socks made here. I'll betcha. And they'll be made in, luxurious material. Lovely to the touch, like, nylon, I would expect. Oh, the smell of it. Tim says, I'm worried about this Chinese disease. The virus has now killed at least 41 people and infected some 1,400. My missus said it is peaking. But apparently it's in Wuhan. Oh, no. Listeners with material.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's the Wuhan clan, Tim. Remember that. That was painful. I'm actually in more pain than I was before. Thanks a lot, mate.
Leading Britain's conversation. LBC with Nick Abbott.
What's he got to be depressed about?
There's a little rumble in my jungle. Not that it's got anything to do with you. Simon says you were wrong. Oh, what? He says, I had fresh oysters yesterday, and like a lot of things, it's best if you just swallow. Funny how things have changed. In the past, oysters were poor people's food. I paid £6 per oyster in a London restaurant. You're out your mind, mate. £6? This says, have you seen a picture of Donny in the Mail dressed in Starfleet uniform? No, I haven't. I must see that straight away. Please make that happen, glamorous assistant. Donald Trump in Starfleet uniform. Do military uniforms come in his size? Tottenham. Hello, Tom.
Hi, mate. Did you just say Simon just says swallow?
Yeah, can we just pass over that?
I'm thinking, couldn't he restrain himself?
Yeah. If I knew that was where it was going, I wouldn't have started out on that little trip.
Yeah, well, I just did a gig last night, and I was taking a break, and the guitarist was playing. And
Tom, what are you talking about?
I'm sorry, I've got off track. The reason I called was because I had a specific reason, which was to ask you about. Well, it was Simon's fault, but Simon says, and you do what Simon says, right? But it was the movies, Apocalypse Now, Star Wars, and Pulp Fiction.
Right.
And you've mentioned
Pulp
them
Fiction,
repeatedly. Yeah. So I was wondering if there were any links. But can you hear me? By the way,
not that I can think of, because I would add Blue Velvet to that, one of my favourite films of all time.
Yeah, I know.
And Koyaanisqatsi is my number one tip-toppermost favourite film ever. Write it down. Koyaanisqatsi.
It's incredible in, as we would say, tippy-top shape. Tippy-top.
It is tippy-top.
I've heard you mention it repeatedly. There's also Koyaanisqatsi 2, isn't there?
There's also what?
There's Koyaanisqatsi 2, isn't there not?
Which one?
Didn't they make a repeat?
Oh, you're saying Koyaanisqatsi.
Koyaanisqatsi,
yeah, number 2. Well, it was called something else. It was called either Baraka or Powakatsi. I think it's Powakatsi. Yeah, but you want to watch Koyaanisqatsi because that is the absolute best. It's the best film ever made.
I did, yeah.
And?
Yeah.
You can thank me later. No, wait, I've changed my mind. You can thank me now.
Well, thank you, Nick. But I've already seen it.
Yeah, right. Well, see it again.
It's a little scary, though.
Koyaanisqatsi?
It's kind of scary.
Scary? What's scary about it?
I don't know. Do you not feel we're in a... Well, I don't know. Maybe this is just a continuing state of...
Your mind, yeah. I think that's where we're at.
Of course it's your mind. I mean, you process everything through your mind, but it's
some
destabilization.
Yeah, well, it's a life out of balance.
Wrong?
Oh. So that's that. Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's Donald Trump in Starfleet.
Oh, right. So they've just taken Captain Kirk's head off and they put Donald Trump's right on there. Huh. Well, that's no good. I want to see him actually squeezed into one of those uniforms. That would be funny. Anyway, Tom, I've got absolutely no idea what it is that you're talking about. Can you pop it on a postcard? 0345 6060 973. Susie says, so sorry you're feeling unwell. You are a real trooper. Thank you for coming into work. See, that's how it's done. Do you have any Imodium tablets, she says. They nearly always help. Just having liquids might also help. Hope you feel much better very soon. Well, thank you, Susie. appreciate it.
Thank you.
No, I don't. I've got Rennie. How many Rennie are you supposed to pop, by the way? If I eat 6, would that be too much? Braintree. Ken.
Hello?
2 in a row on the Nicky Abbott Show. Yes, Ken.
Nick, have you ever been to Mersey Island?
No. MERSEA?
Correct.
Yeah.
It could be an opportunity for one of your little excursions.
Oh, yeah, well, I'll do that straight away. I'll see you at the port. Okay.
No, hang on. There's a place down there called the Company Shed.
Yeah.
And they do fresh oysters.
Right, I'm never going to eat another oyster in my life, Ken. Are you insane?
No.
Twice bitten, once shy.
This place is brilliant for oysters.
I'm not remotely interested in your blooming oysters.
Oh, all right, then, fair enough.
You can take your shellfish and stick it. But thanks for the advice. Israel texts, not the country, a person, unless it is the country. Happy Chinese New Year. Year of the Rat, can't be the country. Thought you might find this interesting. The famous and the infamous born in the Year of the Rat include... No, I don't actually find that interesting. It's just a list of famous names. Who cares? But I do appreciate the effort you put into that huge list, Israel, that holds no interest of any kind to me personally. Josh in Sandhurst says, good evening. Do you need me to send you some man-up pills? Stop whining. Can we go back to the nice lady that said, I'm a trooper? I've never been so offended in all my life. Taking advantage of me when I'm down.
Whinging and whining and moaning.
Sarah says your condition is self-inflicted as you desired an aphrodisiac against the wishes of the church. That's right. God's very upset with me. It says it right there in the Bible. Don't eat steak and oyster pie. And particularly don't have a... Well, it wasn't even really a fight. It was just a mild contretemps. Oh, no, I've slipped into French.
Oh, no.
Filthy foreign language. It was... I just wanted to sit at a particular table, and he refused to let me in an almost completely empty restaurant of at least 20 tables that were unoccupied. And I wanted to sit on a larger table, but no, you can't do that. It's against the rules, that is. So I will not be going back. Glenn says, this is all in capital letters with, 50 exclamation marks. Nick Abbott spelt wrong. Why don't you stop Trump bashing? It's naysayers like you who give Great Britain a bad name. You need to get behind Boris so that we can control our own destiny. I do believe that Glenn is a troll. Back under your bridge, troll. Something happened today. This can't be the way this show goes for 3 hours. I do want to talk about something mildly serious. And it's the future of this country. Because Boris Johnson, honestly, I'll get into it after the news. I'll try and wipe up some of these calls first. These people, they just keep calling me and calling me. How do they get my number? Ambrose. Hello, Sheila.
Hiya, it's Arbroath.
Oh, my God, you're loud. Arbroath.
Oh, sorry, it's Arbroath.
Arbroath, yes.
Well, I actually started off for one reason I was phoning, but now I've got 3.
Yes.
One, your voice sounds deeper on the phone, on the radio.
Right. That's because I'm going through millions of pounds worth of equipment.
Oh, right, okay.
That's true, yeah.
Something in the imagination. Yeah. And your assistant sounds really stressed.
Stressed?
Yeah, sounds really stressed.
This is the least...
young man.
This is the least stressful show to work on this station. Are you kidding me? Stressed?
Well, I'd hate to think what the rest of them are like then.
Yeah. Freaking out.
And the third thing was...
Just before you go on, Sheila, let me check that that's actually correct. Is this the least stressful show to work on this station?
I can absolutely confirm that.
See? Completely correct in every... Oh, that's a shame. Sheila forgot where she was and uttered an oath.
Disgusting.
Yeah. Oh, that is a shame, Sheila, because I was actually interested in what you wanted to say, but now we'll never know. You only get one go. Sorry about that. Better luck next time. You have to remember where you are, Sheila. You're not in a building site now, you know. You get a red mark against your name. Don't you ever do that again. Plus, see me afterwards. He was probably stressed because he didn't know how to spell Arbroath. So he just put Abros. Paul says, so Trump's plan all along was to change the classification of pasta so it's a vegetable. Next he'll be changing chlorinated chicken to a smoothie. A chicken smoothie. Doesn't that sound lovely?
No.
Oh, God. Stop talking about food, people. Seriously, how many Rennies are you supposed to take? Because I've got the actual pills, but I haven't got the box it came in. Is 10 too many? Just a mouthful. Dosage at the top. What's that?
Look at the top of your screen. Scroll up.
Top of the screen. Oh, right. Actual information. From the Rennie website. The usual dosage is 1 to 2 tablets. Oh, no! Call an ambulance. I've been snorting them like Smarties. And you're not supposed to snort them either. I learnt that later on. You're not supposed to crush them into a powder and then snort them. You're supposed to pop them. Well, they should have put that on the actual tablets. I got a whole bag full of mystery tablets. I took 3 or 4 just before I came on the air, just to be sure. I took a yellow one and a green one and red and yellow and green and blue, purple and orange and pink.
Groovy.
Yeah. I feel fantastic. As in science fiction. 0345 6060 973. Friday and Saturday night at 10, Nick Abbot, LBC.
This is LBC from Global, leading Britain's conversation with Nick Abbot.
Nobody knows who the hell he is.
I feel lightheaded. That's what I feel.
Yeah, a little bit lightheaded of having had, 16, 17 Rennies now. Add them along with my other medications, and if you put your ear to my mind, this is what you'd hear. More or less. God, that Donald Trump, he is an absolutely despicable human being. He just wanted to put one in the eye of Barack Obama by ditching his wife's plan to give children healthier meals. I mean, what other possible reason could there be to describe pasta as a vegetable? To reduce the amount of fruit that children get and increase the number of pastries, just because that's what Michelle Obama was trying to work to avoid, trying to work against, trying to make America slim down a little bit. And he's such a small-minded individual. He might be the world's worst human. If you did a calculation based on the amount of power and the most appalling person, he would definitely be right up there at the top.
Oh, shut up!
The tippy-tip toppermost. And he's the guy that we are allying ourselves with. Good grief, it's excruciating. Crawling across the carpet, asking for a favour from him. Well, guess what? Donald Trump's not a nice person.
Donald Trump is not a nice person.
See, he knows himself. Lara says, your lovely assistant has a very sexy voice. What does he look like? If you're catching a bus and you miss it and it recedes into the distance, that's what he looks like. Andrew says, I may not agree with much thanks, Andrew. That's nice. You don't have to no, you don't have to put the nice texts up. We'll just take those as read. But thanks. Mike says, if you want a song for the Year of the Rat, how about Rat in the Kitchen, What Am I Gonna Do by UB40.
Rock and roll!
Yeah. And DS tweets, did I hear correctly that Trump's new school lunches guidelines say pasta is a vegetable? Does this make any sense, or is it just me? No, it's not just you, and it doesn't make any sense. Donald Trump is a very, very sick individual.
This guy is sick. There's something wrong with this guy,
he said, looking in the mirror. Ashford. Hello, Milan.
Hello, Nick.
Milan.
And how are you feeling?
I've got a dicky tummy.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
I recommend about 3 litres of water and lots of veggies. But when I say veggies,
you don't
I
mean pasta. No, you don't mean
yes.
that. Yeah. Oh, you do mean pasta.
Not Donald Trump's classification of pasta. But you've said quite a bit about Donald Trump, but people vote for him, and it's the same with Boris Johnson. Boris Johnson comes out with utter nonsense. He doesn't have a grasp of details, but people vote for him, and I've got no idea why people vote for those 2 characters.
Well, I'll tell you, I know exactly why they do it, because those 2 characters come through the television at you. That's it. And the Labour Party needs to think really long and hard before they put somebody in power that does not come through the television at them.
This is really depressing. That means instead of someone displaying facts and details, they want someone who's just going to tell a few jokes and
nobody cares.
And that's it. Nobody cares.
Nobody reads the manifesto. Believe me, nobody at all ever. We make an instant decision based on within a matter of seconds, based on our first sight and hearing of somebody. And I'm telling you now, that nice lady that's been in the news, she is not going to win an election. She won't. She won't. She won't.
She won't. According to about the B word, Brexit, because this Friday, I predict you're going to get littered with callers from delirious leavers, and it's going to be quite interesting. But
my show, by the way, we're doing something special around the 11 o'clock hour, which, by the way, is evil European Union time. We're leaving on their rules, not ours, for a start. But I think Nick Ferrari is... Wait a minute, is that correct?
Yeah, it's Andrew Pearson, Nick Ferrari, and you.
But not all. Okay, one after the other.
Yeah.
Well, okay. When is? Do you have the times?
No, I wouldn't have all those times.
Oh, that's beyond your pay grade. I understand. So I think I haven't been told certainly, but I will be on after the magic hour.
Oh, that's a bit of a shame. But can I say something controversial?
Oh my God! Grip onto something firm, everybody. Here we go.
Right. From listening to a lot of callers on the LBC for the last month and year, I don't think leavers understand that there are 2 parts to Brexit. One is withdrawal, one is the future relationship.
Yeah.
So,
but these are just facts, Milan, and nobody's remotely interested in those anymore. Keep up.
And then there's which you're 100% right, because every leavers think we're going to get a fantastic deal with the US. I think, well, no, the US have all the leverage, and they will impose all sorts onto us, and we'll have to accept it.
Well, it's actually, I mean, that's understood by anybody that's thought about this issue for 10 seconds, rather than running to their cupboard and getting out their flags and just waving it around and shouting about God Save the Queen.
Did you hear about what that Brexit MEP said?
Yes. Well, that is a little unfair. Okay, I've got that story. It was a tiny little bit unfair, but it does give us an indication as to where we are. Hang on a minute. Okay, this is the MEP, a Brexit Party MEP. Oh, really?
We've got a few idiots in our party.
A Brexit Party MEP prompted derision after complaining that Britain will have no representation at EU level when we leave the European Union.
Yeah, and it's not only her, it's also Nadine Dorries who complained that because of Theresa May's deal, there'll be no MEPs in Europe. I'm like, well, that's what you wanted. You wanted Brexit, so what are you complaining about?
Yeah, well, you won. Get over it.
Yeah, so read the facts and details. But you know what?
Nobody's interested in those.
But Nick, next Friday, if you've had enough of Brexit, Megadeth are playing at Wembley, so you can always go.
Is that right?
There. Yeah. So
Megadeth. How old are they now? They must be like 70 years old. Not that makes any difference one way or the other. I bet they still rock.
Rock and roll.
They certainly still rock, and it's the same with Carcass as well. They still
Carcass. That's my mum's favourite band, as a matter of fact.
Oh no,
Carcass. Yeah, she loves that band.
What about you?
I can honestly say I've never heard anything from their oeuvre.
You've never heard Surgical Stills, their latest album?
No, I have not. No. Well, I'm certainly not going to be listening to that anytime soon. But thanks for your recommendation. I'm already feeling, have I not mentioned that I've got a dicky tummy? I'm feeling a bit lightheaded. Good grief. Carcass I'm going to go listen to now. No, it's a no from me.
Is it okay? All right.
All right. Thanks a lot, Milan. Cheers, mate. Okay, this is a story. Like I said, I'll preface it by saying this is a little bit unfair. A Brexit Party MEP prompted derision after complaining that Britain will have no representation at EU level after it leaves the European Union. June Mummery, a name that I am not making up. That is her actual name, June Mummery. If she's a mummy, would she be Mummy Mummery? Inquisitive minds are keen to find out. She's one of the party's 29 representatives elected to the European Parliament last year, suggesting the loss of MEPs would make it hard to hold Brussels to account. She says the big question now is, who will be there to hold these people to account while they still control Britain's waters? But the UK has no representation, she tweeted. Could you possibly not have thought of that before we got into all this?
No.
Apparently not. Britain will lose its MEPs, EU Commissioner and seats on the EU Council after Brexit, leaving it with no control over the bloc's policies or political direction. Unless they do what we want. Which they should do, because we're British, damn it! And in spite of what you hear from the they need us more than we need them brigade of Dad's Army fantasists, because of the EU's dominant position in international trade, its policies are expected to have a significant impact on us after Brexit. If only we had a place at the table to decide what those rules were. Oh, wait, we did. But then we decided to listen to the will of those that shouted the loudest.
Oh, fabulous.
The UK is also going to be directly bound to EU rules during the transition period until 2021. And Brussels has said that any trade agreement will likely require some level of permanent alignment on Britain's part. We will have to align to them, not the other way around. They will not align to us. And saying, don't you know who we are, ain't going to make no never mind. So June Mummery, out of the Brexit Party, is complaining that when we leave the EU, we will no longer have any input into the decisions made by the EU. But as I said, it's a little bit unfair, this. But it was greeted with yucking all round. SNP MP Peter Grant said if only somebody hadn't lied and said there was no accountability, maybe people would have voted differently. Dr. Charles Tannock, a former Conservative MEP from the party's pro-EU wing, said, surely our British fish, under UK sovereign control, swimming in UK exclusive economic zone, will respect true Brexit and stay out of the EU common fisheries policy waters, so all will be well. Lib Dem MEP Jane Brophy said, it took a long time, but finally a Brexit MEP realised what Brexit means. I fear for our country and all the people that are in for a big shock. I think there's a lot of people in for a big shock. A lot of people. And as I said, it's a little unfair. I'll leave the the explanation till last. A Brexit Party spokesperson said, in this tweet, Mrs. Mummery is rather obviously commenting on the deficiencies of the so-called transition period, not of Brexit itself. Yeah, but it doesn't stop us, having a right old guffaw. The information is that I have here is guitarist Dave Mustaine was born in 1961 and bassist David Ellefson was born in 1964 and they formed Megadeth in 1983 and they've been rocking out ever since. I'm getting a headache just thinking about them. 0345 6060 973, Friday and Saturday night at 10, Nick Abbott, LBC.
This is LBC. Nick Abbott on LBC.
Hang about, Nick. Listen. Now, what I'm trying to say to you is this, Nick, right?
Jackie says, any chance you could tuck into another beef and oyster pie? Another beef and oyster pie before next week's show. I haven't laughed so much in ages, says Jackie. Well, I'm glad that my pain gives you pleasure. You freak. Mary says, do we now have proof that God is Chinese? They're creating a hospital from nothing in 7 days. Hallelujah. It can't possibly be a proper hospital. It just must be a place with beds. It's not an actual hospital, surely. The Chinese are... did you do what I told you? I specifically instructed you to go and have a look at that video of the multicoloured diggers excavating an area where this hospital is going to be. There must have been about 30 of them there. That may be an exaggeration, but it doesn't stop it from being a fact. There were 30 of them there, did you hear? And they were all different colours. It looked like Toy Town stuff. It looked like it looked like an exhibit in Hamleys. Monica says, "I'd love to watch your favourite film if only I knew how to spell it in order to look it up." You'd have so much influence on me. I'd watch anything, says Monica. Well, I could throw you a curveball, like they say in America. But I will tell it to you straight. Koyaanisqatsi. Koyaanisqatsi.
Affirmative.
Koyaanisqatsi. My favourite film ever. Maidstone. Hello, Joan.
Hello there.
Hello there.
I can't help wondering about this great speech our PM is going to make.
Oh.
Is it going to be so amazing that he can actually bring the two sides together? Is there going to be maypoles on the green?
Maypoles, such a good idea, yeah.
How's he going to do it?
I've got no idea. Neither does he.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
He'll just bang on about Greek gods, and he'll throw some Latin in there, and everyone will be befuddled, and he'll mess his hair up, and then he'll exit stage right.
I mean, is this chap serious? Does he really believe it? Is he so egotistical, so insensitive? I mean,
all of the above, apart from does he believe it?
Feel around there.
Yeah. No, I suspect they don't believe it at all. All of this is flannel about how this country is going to be so great afterwards, and we'll be able to bend the European Union and the United States of America to our will, and we'll be able to tell them to do anything we want because we're British. They must know that that's all flannel, because if they don't, then we're all in big trouble, Joan.
What about the 25% tariff for poor old car workers?
Yeah.
We're being blackmailed this way and that way.
Yep,
and
that's correct. It is, yeah, that's absolutely true. That happened 3 times in the last couple of weeks. Donald Trump has threatened to ruin our economy if we don't do what he says. 3 times. It just happened.
Yeah, I mean, I think there'll be a ring of steel around the green, not blooming maple.
They're going to build a wall.
I'm building a wall, okay? I'm building a wall, okay? I'm building a wall.
Yeah, well, they should build a wall around him. Thanks a lot, Joan. Cheers, my dear. Graham says, don't be shellfish. You oyster know better. I won't clam up, so I'll say don't eat slimy scavengers of the deep blue. It makes you feel crabby. Right. I've got a button for that.
Oh, shut up!
David says, suggest you also take some sachets of dioralite to replace your essential electrolytes. Rubbish. There's no such thing. It tastes awful, but it does you the world of good. I don't believe it for a moment. Peter, how about chocolate Nesquik? Probably not the right thing to drink. Peter says, if you have a bad experience with steak and oyster pie, which you have, it's probably because the oysters were French. Blooming bivalves coming over here, mucking up our pies. Bodmin, hello, Malcolm.
Hello, Nick. How are you, sir?
Good, thanks.
Nick, oh my God, is it true? Is it true that these poor Brexit MEPs are going to lose their salary at the end of the month, and we're not going to leave the European Union for another year? Yeah. I mean, Nick, these poor souls are on 105,000 euros a year. Mm-hmm. Now, a euro is worth,
about £12 at the moment. Current trading is about £12.
So 105,000 of them, Nick, they must be on what, £12 a week?
You lost me at the end there. I've got no idea what you're saying. But they're on a lot of money, and they're going to be freshly unemployed. But, that's what they wanted, so they won. Yeah. Get over it.
Yeah. Yeah, so we got no representation. They're going to lose their salaries. They must be really, really over the moon and pleased with the outcome they've won.
Yeah, they're going to have to go back into the real world, and the best of luck for that.
And they're going to get no more money. They're going to have no more influence. Not that they ever had any in Europe anyway, because they are clowns. So, Nick, where do we go from here, dude?
Well, we got to stick where we are, Malcolm. You can't drag this country somewhere else. We're here, and we will always be here until the tectonic plates move again.
Yeah, but we're the kings, Nick. We're the kings. We rule the world. And Donny is looking really good. He is obviously going to cruise the impeachment trial. He'll be back in power.
Yeah, because the Republican Party have no morals, none at all, zero. They claim that they're the party of God, but if God were to come back, they would all be at the top of his to smite list.
Yeah, but Boris is looking good. He's standing up against him, isn't he, Nick?
No, he isn't.
Surely.
No.
Yes, he is.
No,
yes,
he's absolutely not standing up to Donald Trump. He is doing whatever Donald Trump tells him to do. Which country, which planet are you living on, Malcolm?
No, he's not, Nick. If you look at the media...
well, the fake news media,
Dominic Raab is bucking him over the poor lad who was killed.
Yeah, and how far has that got us?
Accident. Nowhere.
Exactly.
Yeah, but they're standing up, and the British media are saying, oh my God, look at Boris. He is bucking the other orange man.
The other orange man? Who's the other one?
Well, Boris is a little bit blonde and orange, isn't he?
Oh, okay.
All right, then.
Yeah, two peas in a pod. Right.
Oh, my God, Nick. Where are we going, for God's sake? Where are we going? Do something, Nick.
Yeah, okay. Leave it with me, Malcolm. I'll see you at the airport. Don't tell Greta. Robin tweets, have you ever seen a pasta plant? They're like small potatoes and have many tubers which are harvested and then cooked as pasta. Everybody knows that, part of 5 a day. There's no such thing as a pasta plant. You remember one of the most successful April Fool's days of all time? And this was back when television was in black and white. And the entire country, well, not the entire country, of course, but a significant number of people probably fell for this more so than they fell for any other April Fool's gag. I think it was Panorama, wasn't it? It was, and then some respected broadcast show, and they went to the Italian pasta tree fields, and where the workers there were cutting pasta down from trees because that's where pasta comes from. People are nodding sagely to themselves, going, "That's very interesting. Gosh, I wish I'd known that before." Mark says, anytime I want my kids to go to bed, I say, Trump's going to get you if you don't go to bed. Donald Trump is not a nice person.
Donald Trump is a very nice person.
Yeah, don't tell him that. Keep your kids away from him. Lucas says, I'll have some delicious vegetables with tomato sauce and cheese tomorrow. Loved how magically Donald Trump made me like vegetables. Yeah, he's a riot. He knows everything about vegetables. Nobody knows more about vegetables than him. Believe him.
I know nothing.
Susie says, as you know so much about the Donald, how did he get away with not doing any military service? Or did he serve? No, he had the rich man's disease. He didn't want to, so he got out of it. He got his doctor. Have you ever seen a picture of his old doctor? You know Doc out of Back to the Future? Like him. Like Doc's crazy brother is what he looked like. So anyway, he got one of his many physicians to write him a letter saying, please excuse Donnie. He doesn't want to go because he's a giant chicken. And ever since he got into power, he's been wrapping himself in the flag and cozying up to army types because he thinks it makes him look tough. Of all the people in the world, we should not be rushing towards that man to hope for a great and tremendous deal. Putting our eggs in his basket must be the second stupidest thing we've done in the last 3 years. Anyway, I'll get on to that in just a minute, because what Boris Johnson said today was just laugh out loud funny. I'm just shaking my head in wonderment as even just thinking about it. Well, that'll have to be for next week, because that's it. If you subscribe to this podcast, the next episode will get squirted up your life as though by magic on Mondays. And don't forget the other podcasts that I do. There's the one with Carol McGiffin called What's Your Problem with Nick and Carol, in which the delightful Carol McGiffin and I try to solve people's problems while maintaining a straight face. If you would like us to have a bash at your issue, simply send it to the following address, nickandcarol@global.com. That's nickandcarol@global.com. And prepare for total satisfaction. There's also the Whole Show podcast, which is, as it sounds, the whole show that I do on the radio Friday and Saturday nights with the news and the ads stripped out. It'll take less time to listen to. You'll use less electricity, and you won't have to take out a second mortgage to pay your lucky bill. And I'll be back on the radio Friday, Saturday, Sunday night at 10. And until then, I'll be seeing you.
Bye-bye.